Good morning, students. Say your prayer. Thank you. நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். Okay, students, take your social science book. Yeah, take page number 27. In today's class, we will continue with the Indus Valley Civilization. So already we have discussed the Indus Valley Civilization, so where it is located, then and its important contribution and futures we have discussed in our previous class. So just to recall what we have discussed in our previous class about Indus Valley Civilization. So where the sites of Indus Valley Civilization were found? Yeah, especially in northwest of India. So it includes Pakistan and some of the states of India, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Haryana and Maharashtra. So these are the states where we found several evidence for the Indus civilization. Then we discussed about the planned towns. Okay, so the Indus Valley civilization have planned towns. So some of the important towns like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Kalibangan, Lothal, Rakhigarhi, Surkodata. So these are the important cities, major cities of Indus Valley civilization. Then we discussed about their towns. Yeah, so how the towns look like. Okay, so their fortification, their streets were well planned. Then we found lanes and drainage were observed in the towns of Harappa. Okay, then we discussed about the Great Bath, so important structure in Mohenjo-daro. Then we have discussed about the priest king. Yeah, so though we do not know about the accuracy of this interpretation, so priest king, so he may be a king or he may be a priest. So there is a confusion. So what does the structure depict? Yeah, so what does this image depict? So we don't know till now. Okay, so why? So because till now we didn't know the language spoken by the Indus Valley people. So the language, the script were not yet studied. Okay, then we discussed about their agriculture practice and animal domestication. Yeah, so they cultivated wheat, barley, and adopted double cropping system. So can you remember? Yeah. Then they had knowledge about various animals, including elephant, but they didn't use horse. Okay. Then their cattle. How was their cattle called as? Yeah, Jebu. Then we discussed about their pottery. Yeah, so their technique, their skill in making pots. Then metal tools and weapons. So different metals used by them for making tools and weapons. Then finally we discussed about their textile and ornaments. So the cloth wear by them and also the ornaments. Okay, so precious and semi-precious ornaments weared by the Indus Valley people we have discussed. Okay, so today's class we will move and discuss about their trade exchange activities and other activities, especially art, religion, then where they came from. So these topics we will discuss in today's class. Trade and exchange. So the Harappans had a close trade link with the Mesopotamians. So can you remember the Mesopotamian civilization? Yeah, 4 kingdoms. So what are they? Yeah, Sumerian, Akkadian, then Babylonian, then Assyrians. Okay, so just remember the Akkadian. So in the Sargon of Akkad, so can you remember the king, the Sargon? So in his documents, so we have the reference to the ships from Meluha, Magan and Dilmun coming to Mesopotamia. So the ships from Meluha. So here the Meluha refers as Indus. Okay, so we have the evidence in Mesopotamia itself, that is the ships from some regions mentioned as Meluha, Magan and Dilmun came to Akkad, a port in Mesopotamia. Here the Meluha represents the Indus value. Okay, so the Meluha represents the Indus value. So the Harappans had close trade link with the Mesopotamians. Harappan seals have been found in the West Asia. West Asia means the country which lies in the West Asia, west of Asia, were called as West Asian countries. Okay, so Harappan seals. So the seals of Harappa have been found in the western sites, namely Oman, Bahrain, Iraq and Iran. So present day countries, Oman, Bahrain, Iraq and Iran. We found some of the Harappan seals. Okay, the cuneiform inscriptions mention the trade contact between the Mesopotamia and the Harappans. So the cuneiform script, especially the Sargon of Akkad documents, have evidence. So mention about the trade contact between the Mesopotamia and the Harappans. So the cuneiform inscriptions. So mention Harappans as the Meluha. So Meluha refers to the Indus region. So the mention of Meluha in the cuneiform inscription is considered to refer to the Indus region. So this shows the trade activities of Indus Valley people with various countries. Okay, so there are a lot of evidence that shows that Indus Valley people have trade contact with other countries. Especially they had good trade relationship with Mesopotamia. Weights and measures. So the Harappans developed a system of proper weight and measures. So they developed a system of proper weight and measures. Since they involved in commercial transactions, they needed standard measures. So previous topic we saw, they involved in trade activities. So for their commercial transaction, they need standard measures. So the cubical chert weights. So chert, a type of raw material. So chert is a type of raw material. So they used this raw material for producing the weight object. Okay, so the cubical chert weights are found at the Harappan sites. The copper plates for weighing balance have also been found. You can see in this picture. So the weight balance. Okay, so now you can find this type of balances in some shops, especially in grocery shops and also in vegetable markets. Okay, but nowadays we are using advanced digital balance. But initially they used weighing balance, so made of copper plates. Okay, so such type of copper plates were found at Harappan sites. Okay, so the weights point to their knowledge of their binary system. So the weights point to their knowledge of the binary system. This shows their knowledge in mathematics. Okay, so the ratio of the weighing is doubled as 1:2, 4, 8, 16, 32. So the ratio of weighing is doubled. So 1:2, then 2:4, then 4:8, 8:16, 16:13. So this shows their binary skill. Okay, so the number is doubling. So the ratio is doubling. So this shows their skill in mathematics. Okay, so they have proper weight and measure system. Seals, sealings and script. The seals from various media such as steatite. So steatite means the mineral talc occurring in consolidated form. So steatite is a type of mineral. Okay, copper, terracotta and ivory are found in the Harappan sites. The seals from various media. So the seals were made of various media. The seals from various media such as steatite, copper, terracotta and ivory are found in the Harappan sites. They were probably used in trade activities. So these seals were used in trade activities because various people involved in trade activities. So in order to differentiate them, in order to identify them, they use different seals. Because nowadays also, so the companies have their own logo and seal now. So like that. So the people use various seals. Okay, so these seals were used in trade activities. The Harappan script is not yet deciphered. So deciphered means not yet studied or not yet identified. So the writing system was not yet identified. About 5,000 texts have been documented from the Harappan site. So till now, more than 5,000 texts have been documented. But the strange thing is their language, their writing skill, their script was not yet known. Okay, so but some of the scholars have a view that the scripts is in Dravidian language. Okay, so some of the scholars, so some of the people have a view, so have a point of view that the Indus Valley civilization is the Dravidian civilization, but their script was not yet deciphered. So deciphered means known or not yet studied. arts and amusement. So amusement means so something that makes us pride or pleasant. So the terracotta figurines, paintings on the pottery and the bronze image, the terracotta figurines, the terracotta toys, paintings on the pottery. So pottery we have discussed now. Yeah, the Harapans used painted pottery. Yeah, so the pottery also has different shapes. Yeah, so the pottery also has different shapes and different paintings were painted on the pots. Yeah, and the bronze images, so which were excavated from the Harappan sites, suggested the artistic skills of the Harappans. Okay, so the terracotta figurines, paintings on the pottery, and the bronze image from the Harappan sites suggest the artistic skills of the Harappans. Priest king, already we have seen priest king, made of stated, and a dancing girl made of bronze. Okay, so priest king and a dancing girl. So priest king is made of stateite. So already we have seen a type of mineral. Then dancing girl, it is made of bronze. You can see in this picture. Yeah. So both were excavated from Mohenjo-daro. Yeah. As well as stone sculptures from Harappa, Mohenjo-daro and Dholavira are the important objects of art. Okay, so priest king, dancing girl and other stone sculptures, so which were excavated from Harappa, Mohenjo-daro and Dholavira. So these are the important objects of art. Then toy cart, rattles, wheels, tops, marbles and hopscotches made in terracotta suggest the amusement of the Harappan people. Okay, so some of the toys so made of terracotta. Okay, so toy cats, rattles. So rattles, so nothing but. So what is meant by a rattle? Yeah, to make a series of short, loud sound when hitting against the hard object. Okay, so rattle, so nothing but it is used to make a series of short, loud sound. Yeah, so to make short time duration but loud sound, but very sound is very loud when hitting against the hard object. Yeah, so the rattle when hit against a hard object means it produces a loud sound, but the duration is very low. Okay, so such type of materials, so such type of things were found in the Harappan sites, which shows the amusement of the Harappan people. Then religion. So what type of religion was practiced by them? The Indus people had a close relationship with the nature. So they also worshipped the nature. They worshipped papal trees. So they also worshipped papal trees. They worshipped the trees. So some of the terracotta figures resemble the mother goddess. So some of the terracotta figures which we have excavated shows the mother goddess. Fire altars have been identified at Kalibangan. So fire altars. So they worshipped fire. Yes, it shows they worshipped fire. The Indus people buried the dead. So we have the evidence that the Indus people buried the dead. Burials were done elaborately. Yeah, so the practice of burying the dead were done elaborately. And the evidence for cremation has also been found. So cremation means, what do you mean by cremation? So disposal of a dead person's body by burning it to ashes. Okay, so cremation means disposal of a dead body by burning it. Okay, so both burying and firing the or burning the dead body will take place in the Indus Valley civilization. So we have evidence for both. So burying the dead and also the evidence for cremation. Okay, original inhabitants and their culture. So from where the Harappans came? So it was not yet known. So the authors of the Harappan civilization are not known since the script has not been deciphered. Since their writing language, since their language was not yet studied, not yet known, the authors of the Harappan civilization were not known. So one school of thought argues that they spoke the Dravidian languages. Okay, so some people argued that the Harappan people spoke Dravidian languages. The archaeological evidence shows the movement of the Harappans to the east and the south after the decline of the Indus civilization. Okay, so why they argue means, so we have some evidence, that is the Harappan people moved to the east of India and later to the south after the decline of the Indus Valley civilization. Okay, so some people argue that they spoke the Dravidian languages. So it is probable that some of the Harappan people moved into different parts of India. So maybe it is possible. So when any foreign invasion or any unwanted thing happening, so the people move from their native place. So there is a chance that the Harappan people moved into different parts of India, but only the decipherment of the script can give you a definite answer. Yeah, but only their language. So when we came to know means, then there is a chance we will get the proper answer. The Indus Valley civilization had more than one group of people. Okay, wow. So there is no a single group. So people involved in different activities. Okay, so there is a different group. So several groups, including the farmers, pastoralists, and hunter-gatherers, lived in the Indus region. So the Indus region had villages and large towns. So the Indus region had both villages and towns. So the population was mixed. So no uniform population. So the population was mixed. So some people practice farming. So some people practice pastoralists. Some people were hunter-gatherers. So different group of people were living in Indus Valley region. So the period of the civilization has been divided into early, mature, and later Harappans. Okay, so the period of the civilization has been divided into three: early Harappan, mature Harappan, and later Harappan. So early Harappan starting from 3300 BC to 2600 BC. Then mature Harappan, so start from 2600 to 1900 BC. Then later Harappan existed up to 1700 BC. Then after that there is a decline of Harappan civilization. Okay, wow. So there is a lot of discussions that going on about the decline of Harappan civilization. So some people says it is due to foreign invasion. So some people say due to the Indus River changes its course. Okay, so there is a lot of discussions. So the period of the civilization has been divided into early Harappan. So starting from 3300 BC to 2600 BC, and mature Harappan, so starting from 2600 BC to 1900 BC, and the late Harappan existed up to 1700 BC. Decline of the Indus culture. The Indus civilization and its urban future started declining from about 1900 BC. The Indus civilization and its urban culture began to decline from about 1900 BC. Changes in climate, decline of the trade with Mesopotamia, and drying up or flooding of the river Indus, foreign invasion were some of the reasons attributed to the collapse of the civilization. So what are the reasons for the decline? So there are various concepts. So some people say that there is a change in climate. So some people say that there is a decline of trade with Mesopotamia, and some says drying up or flooding of the river Indus, and some people it is due to foreign invasion. So these are the reasons attributed related to the collapse of the civilization and for the migration of people in southern and eastern directions. So because of these things only, so the Indus Valley people began to migrate from their original place to east part of India and to south part of India. So it did not completely disappear. So some people says the Indus Valley civilization did not disappear completely. It continued as a rural culture in India. So the Indus Valley civilization was continued as a rural culture. So thus the Indus culture declined. So from its origin place. Okay, Indus script, a case study. So cracking the Indus script. So cracking means to solve a problem. Because till now we didn't know about their language. So there are a lot of confusion. There are a lot of researches going on. So Harappans knew the art of writing. So as like the other civilization, Harappan people also knew the art of writing. The script is found on seals in molded terracotta and on pottery. Their writing. So there are a lot of writings that were found on seals, terracotta, and on pottery. It has not been deciphered till now. It was not yet identified. So their language, so the writing method was not yet identified because the Indus texts are very short. then the average length of the inscription is less than 5 signs. Okay, so why it was difficult means because the text were very short. Yeah, then the average length is less than 5 cents. It has no bilingual text. So bilingual means so two language. Because it has no bilingual text. Hence the deciphering the script is difficult. So it is very short. Then there is no bilingual. Okay, so very short means the length is less than 5 cents. So it is very difficult to decipher their language. Then it was written generally from right to left. So how you write? If anything we want to write, yeah, from left to right only we practice, no, but the Indus script is generally from right to left. Yeah, so based on the computer analysis, the Russian scholar Yuri Norozov suggested that the Indus inscriptions have a Dravidian like word order. Because based on the computer analysis, a famous Russian scholar Yuri Norozov suggested that the Indus inscription have a Dravidian like word order. Then the scholar and researcher Airavadam Mahadevan, so he is from Tamil Nadu, yeah, so who has done extensive research on Indus civilization. He had done several research, okay, about Indus civilization. He says we may hopefully find that the Proto-Dravidian roots of Harappa language and South Indian Dravidian languages are similar. So Airavadam Mahadevan says that there is a relationship, that there is a similarity between the Proto-Dravidian roots of Harappa language and South Indian Dravidian language. So he says that there is a similarity between the Harappan language and the Dravidian languages. So according to Mahadevan, Airavadam Mahadevan, a stone image, a stone structure discovered in Mayiladurai in Tamil Nadu has same marking as that of the symbol of the Indus script. According to Mahadevan, so who discovered a stone celt in Mayiladurai, that stone celt has images, some markings as symbol which is similar to Indus script. In May 2007, the Tamil Nadu Archaeological Department found parts with arrowhead symbols at Melapirumballam near Pumbuhar, which resembled the seals in Mohenjo-daro. In May 2009, Tamil Nadu Archaeological Department found some parts in Melapirumballam, which is near Pumbuhar. Okay, so that part contains some symbols with arrowhead. Yeah, it looks like the seals in Mohenjo-daro. So that symbols resembled the seals in Mohenjo-daro. So then according to Parpola, the sign of the Indus script is likely to represent Dravidian monosyllabic roots. Yes, according to Parpola, so another famous author. So the sign of the Indus script is likely the Dravidian monosyllabic roots. Okay, so some people suggest that the Indus Valley civilization is the Dravidian civilization, especially Russian scholar Yuri Norozov, then Airavadam Mahadevan, then our archaeological department excavations and Parpola suggest that the Indus Valley civilization is the Dravidian civilization. But till now, it was not yet finalized. Okay, so there are a lot of research going on. Maybe in future, so we can decipher. The script of Indus people means, then we can say, so which culture, so what culture our Tamil people belongs to. So maybe Dravidian culture, maybe Indus Valley culture, or a separate culture. So let us wait for the future. Okay, students, in this lesson we have discussed about the 4 major civilization. Okay, first Egyptian civilization, then Mesopotamian civilization, then Chinese civilization, then finally the Indus Valley civilization. So we belong to the Indus Valley civilization. Okay, so we people, India, so belongs to Indus Valley civilization. So we are civilized so 5,000 years ago itself. Okay, so just feel pride. So we can feel pride that we people have a proper civilization 5,000 years ago itself. Okay, okay, students, take your book, note down the today's homework. Yeah, page number 31, 6th Roman letter. Answer the following in detail. Third question, write about the hidden treasure of the Indus civilization. Yeah, take page number 29. Yeah, just to write that in the script a case study. Yeah, that's fully. So that above the picture, that the cracking the script, that paragraph fully, then the 4 points. Yeah, so read it and write it as homework. Then for textbook reading, take page number 27. Yeah, read the headings: trade and exchange, weights and measures, sales, ceilings, and script. Yeah, so that is textbook reading. Okay, wow. So next class, we will mark the book back questions. Okay, students. If you have any doubt, contact me. Thank you. Have a nice day.